In this video, we'll find out what are the key parameters that drive price and performance of the X-ray source in your X-ray machine. So for the X-ray source, there are three main parameters that drive price and performance of the X-ray source. And so we're going to go over each one of them, and we're going to give you an idea of what's the impact on price and performance. The first one we're going to talk about is the spot size. Spot size is the size of that reflection point on the X-ray tube, specifically on the target, right? So if this is your target of your X-ray source, the focus spot size is a really tiny spot where the X-ray are created by the reflection of the fast approaching electrons that hit the target and create X-ray photons. The larger this spot size, then the lower, for the most part, is the price, and lower is also the performance of the X-ray tube. So X-ray tubes, let's say that in another way, X-ray tubes with a really, really tiny spot size, some of them are called microfocus, because they have really, really tiny spot size that creates a really sharp and parallel X-ray beams coming out of the X-ray tube. Those really tiny spot sizes get really, really expensive, but give you a really sharp, very crisp edge on your X-ray images. And that costs money, and the price goes up almost exponentially with that. The other critical parameter on the price and performance of an X-ray source is what we call FOD. So the focus to object distance, right? So FOD. And the FOD is nothing but the distance between, in this case, let's call this the window of your X-ray source. The target, the X-rays are being formed right here. So that distance, right? Again, electrons, X-rays, this distance between the target where the X-rays are actually created and the window, or the X-rays come out from the X-ray source, that's going to be your FOD. And the smaller the FOD, right? So the closer you can get to that location of the target, the higher the performance of the tube, because you can achieve higher magnification. And with that, it costs more money. So smaller FOD, higher mag, that's the impact on performance, higher magnification that can be achieved, but at the same time, you're gonna pay more money for that. Why do we get a higher magnification? Well, because you know that, let's say you put your sample here, right? Your sample is right there. And the distance between the target and your sample is gonna be, let's call this D1, let's call this guy D2, and your sensor sits there on the top, and let's call this D3, right? So your magnification is going to be 1 plus D3 over D1 plus D2, right? Now, if you want a higher magnification, this number has to be as small as possible, right? The smaller number here means a higher number here. If you want high mag, this D1 plus D2 has to be as small as possible. But look what happens if I place my sample right on top of the source, right? And again, this is the vacuum envelope, glass envelope, or whatever material is being used of the source. I can't get close to the target because I have this vacuum space. So if D1 is 0, if I place the sample right on top of the source, I still have D2 dictating magnification. For that reason, the smaller the D2, the higher mag I can get. The third parameter I want to talk to you guys today is power of the X-ray tube. Now, power, as you know, right, is defined as voltage times current. In X-ray terms, X-ray source terms, voltage is in kV and current is in MA. And the result here is watts. Now, the higher the power, if everything is kept the same, in other words, if the spot size of the source is the same, the higher the power of the X-ray tube, the more money it's going to cost. What's going to get you? kV, right, is the energy of each photon. That's going to give you penetration. So you'll be able to, higher kV allows you to penetrate through thicker or denser materials. And MA is the illumination of the tube, or luminosity of the tube. The higher the MA, the more photons you're going to be producing per second. So 3 parameters, right? We have the spot size. Spot size is 1, 2 is FOD, 3 is our power of the X-ray tube, and that's the, in summary, principal parameters to define price and performance of an X-ray tube. Spot size, the smaller the spot size, the higher the price, the better the resolution of the image. FOD, that's the distance between the window and the target. The smaller the FOD, higher magnification will be achieved, more expensive the tube gets. Power, similarly, the higher the power, more penetration you're going to get, more luminosity you're going to get, but at the same time, price also goes up. I hope you enjoyed this video. Do not forget to subscribe. And if you have any questions, send us an email, reach out to us at creativeelectron.com. We'll be more than happy to address that question directly or with a video. Thanks for watching.